For more than a decade, email marketing has been built around a simple idea. The subject line drives the open, and the open gives you a chance to deliver the message. That model is starting to shift. This is Subject Line Blank. I am Marcos Bravo from Mailtrap, and today we're going to look at how Gmail's Gemini AI summaries are changing what gets seen, what gets measured, and what marketers should be doing differently going forward. Welcome back. So what's actually changing? Google has been expanding Gemini across its products, and Gmail is one of the most important ones. In its Workspace updates, Google positioned these features as a way to summarize emails and help users process information faster. In practice, what this means is simple. Users can see a condensed version of your email, or even an entire thread before they fully read it. Instead of going through your message line by line, they may only see a short version first. And that introduces a new layer in the process. Not filtering, interpretation. Now, before going further, a quick reminder to subscribe and like our content so you don't miss the latest news in the marketing, email, and tech world. Now, why this matters? Email is already a constrained channel. According to Validity's email deliverability benchmark report, global inbox placement rates 83%. That means roughly 1 in 5 emails never ever reaches the inbox. So before content even matters, delivery is already a challenge. Now, let's add a second layer. Even when your email is delivered, the first version the user sees might not be what you wrote. At the same time, comprehension has always been fragile. Research from Boomerang, based on millions of emails, shows that messages written at a simple reading level achieve a response rate of around 53%, while more complex messages drop closer to 39%. Definitely something to keep in mind, because that gaps become more important in a summarized environment. Because summaries reward clarity, not complexity. So what is this breaking? The traditional model looks like this. Subject line, open, message, action. With AI summaries, it shifts to summary, impression, possible action, and maybe open. This changes where the decision happens. The subject line still matters, but it's no longer the only entry point. And in some cases, not even the first one. The decision used to happen after the open. Now it's happening before the open. And you're not controlling the message that triggers it. That's the fundamental shift. You wrote the email. Google's AI wrote the version the algorithm understood, for better or worse. And it also weakens open rates as a reliable signal. Basically, most of what we knew of email marketing and the playbook on subject lines is not longer viable. Now, a user can understand or ignore your message without ever opening the email. So, how this changes things for marketers? This leads to a very practical change in how emails should be written. First, front load the message. The first 1 or 2 sentences need to carry the actual value, not context, not build up, to the point. Second, write with comprehension in mind. If your message doesn't make sense when it's reduced to a couple of sentences, it won't hold up in a summarized view. And third, prioritize clarity over curiosity. Messages that rely on intrigue or delay payoff become just weaker. Direct, clear communication becomes more effective when the algorithm understanding becomes part of your thought process. Now, structure also matters more. Short paragraphs, clear hierarchy, and simple language increase the chances that both users and systems understand the message correctly. As an extra tip, test your own messages through the system. Use Gmail's summarization feature on your drafts before you send them. See what gets kept, see what gets dropped. If the summary loses your point, rewrite it until it doesn't. This is not theoretical optimization, it's literally practical QA. So now let's look at the risk factors here, right? Google stated in its own documentation that Gemini can generate inaccurate or misleading information and present it as factual. Not my words, their words. Applied to email, this creates a different kind of risk. Even small deviations can change meaning. Here's a simple example. A promotional email says 50% off select items this weekend, but the summary is going to read 50% off this weekend. Now, you got customers expecting a site-wide sale. The AI didn't really lie. It just removed context, but the damage is already done. Now, in marketing, that might reduce performance. In other contexts, it can be a little more serious. Legal communication, healthcare instructions, financial updates, all of these depends on precision. So if a summary removes nuance or simplifies too much, the interpretation can shift completely. And that creates a structural gap. The sender did not write the summary, the reader might not see the original, and the system in between is shaping the message while carrying no responsibility at all. So what do we need to watch now? If adoption of AI summaries increases, a few shifts are likely to happen. Open rates will become less reliable as a primary metric. More focus will move toward clicks, conversions, actual outcomes. Content will become even more AI optimized in the first place. Messages that communicate value quickly will sort of outperform those that rely on build-up or narrative behind them. And testing will have to evolve. And teams will need to test not just subject lines, but how messages are understood when compressed. So basically, email is no longer just delivered. It is interpreted. And that changes how it should be written, measured, and also optimized. If you work in email marketing or product, this is a shift worth paying attention to, especially right now. So with all of this little breakdown done, I want to invite you to come back to see more of the little research we're doing towards email marketing and tech and what's happening around the world right now. This is Subject Line Blank. My name is Marcus, and I will see you next time. Cheers.